America, how we doing today? I'm mechanicking. Let me get this dried out here real quick, and I'll get right back with you, explain what I'm doing. Okay, how we doing today, America? We are laid over in Knoxville, Tennessee. Yeah, Knoxville, Tennessee. Doing a 34-hour restart, and I've been having a couple issues with the truck, little minor things. You know, 17-year-old truck. You had it. If you were 17 years old and had a, wait a minute, if you're 17 years old, what is that in dog years? Truck years. 17-year-old truck might as well be like a 100-year-old man. Yeah, they're old and they got a few things wrong with them. So let's just say truck years. 17 truck years with 1.2 million miles on you. You'd have a few issues too. So what I got is my temperature gauge, water temperature on the engine. This truck is a 04. It's got an NBN motor, Cat NBN motor, and the thermostat on it is a 180 degree thermostat, or maybe 185, but probably 180 degree thermostat. And ever since I've had this truck, I'm driving down the road and it's showing 200 degrees. And I'm thinking that shouldn't be that high, you know. New motors maybe, but not the older pre-emission motors. They ran about 180 degrees. So I got my my laser thermometer. It's a little gizmo, and I got in there. I opened the hood and shot down on top where the thermostat and all that is, you know, the water pump and all that area. Not the water pump, but anyway, the thermostat and the water temperature sensor is. And I shot down in there, and it was like 183 degrees, but it's showing over 200 on the gauge. So something's wrong there. Something's not calibrated right, whatever. So I had my mechanic 2 weeks ago when they did the air conditioner. They also changed out the sending unit and plugged her in, and I left, got down the highway and got to noticing it's still showing 200 degrees. So that wasn't it. Well, the other day I'm driving down the road, and the gauge, it's about a week ago, I'm driving down the road and the gauge is way over around 220. I'm like, you know, oh man, and I'm bobtail. I shouldn't, you know, shouldn't be that high. I'm just flat ground bobtail. It should be down at 180, or this gauge showing 200 degrees. And it's showing like 225, and that's super dangerous. That's hot, you know, warping heads and stuff like that, you know, in that range, when you get up above 220. So I pulled over immediately, popped the hood, got my little laser out, bing, 195. So it's actually 195, but the gauge is showing like 230. So I'm figuring the gauge is off about 20, 25 degrees, somewhere in that range, 30 degrees, something like that. So anyway, thought, well, next time I get home, have a few days off and everything, I'll take it down to the shop and have them work on it again, fix it right. Well, I'm driving down the road last night, temperature gauge completely pegs over, completely all the way over. And now, you know, I get out and look, and it's 180 degrees. It's fine. It's just the gauge is showing wrong, but the motor's still running fine and everything. So I thought, well, I've been running real hard this week, and I've run up against my 70 hours on my logbook. Here it is, it's Monday, and I need to do a restart. So let's do a restart, you know, a 34-hour restart on your logbook. And people that aren't truck drivers know what that is, but if you don't, we can reset our logbooks. If you take 34 hours off, it's a 24-hour period plus a 10-hour break, okay? And it's called a 34-hour restart. And what it does, it completely resets your logbook to 0 hours, and you start fresh again, okay? So anyway, I'm doing that today, and I thought, well, I'm here in Knoxville, just sitting in a truck stop going like this, I might as well take it over to the shop and get it worked on. So I come in here last night, woke up this morning, they knocked on my door. I was parked up there by the gate. They knocked on my door, and this is where I'm gonna go. I'm gonna get all gushy about Knoxville Peterbilt. It's the, what's the name of the place? Oh, where'd it go? The Pete store, okay? Yeah, right here. The Pete store, okay? Anyway, it's a Peterbilt dealership here in Knoxville. Now, believe it or not, it's not Rush Peterbilt. Yeah, you truck drivers are going, oh my God, not Rush. Rush is a really, really huge dealership all around the south of America. You know, I guess they're from like Georgia all the way over to New Mexico. Okay, they're all over the place down here. Just about if you're in the south, you go to a Peterbilt, it's more than likely a Rush Peterbilt. And there's all kinds of bitching and growling about Peterbilt, you know, Rush Peterbilt, you know. So anyway, this is not one of their stores. So anyway, I'm in here, and they, in the morning, knock on the door, says, "You here for service?" I'm like, "Yeah, yes sir." Says, "Well, come on in, we'll write you up and get you taken care of." Oh, okay. Well, most time you go into a Peterbilt store, any of the dealerships, they get in there and they say, "Okay, well, you got to get in line. You're behind 30 other drivers." And these are big transmissions and motor overhauls and all this stuff, and you got to wait in line behind them for something kind of simple, like a turn signal, something like that, you know, some little thing that you can't fix yourself. Not a turn signal, but you get the idea. Some little small thing, and they'll say, "Okay, well, we'll get you the 3rd Thursday of next week." Yeah, exactly. You know, it's terrible. So what I was really impressed. I get in here and they go, "Yeah, we can." I told them what was going on, and I says, "Well, that gauge isn't working. A couple of these other gauges aren't working, and all this." And I, "Okay, great." So he says, "Give me a minute, and I'll get somebody on that." About a half hour later, a guy comes out to the truck and starts looking around. I explain to him what it is, and he is their triage guy. And what they mean by that is, you know, triage in a medical term. They look and see if it's really bad. If it's something that's going to take a long time, guess what? It's going to be next week. But if it's something simple, they'll squeeze you in. Okay. So I got to tell them all the different things I want. You know, how it's happening. You know what I just told you guys. And he goes, "Okay, well, let me work on it a little bit." So I got out of the truck. They don't like you in the truck while they're in the shop. So I get out of the truck and I went upstairs and I started editing a video up in the break room. I walk up into the break room. Recliners, clean recliners, a big, I don't know, 45-inch, 48-inch TV up on the wall, cable TV, because it was MTV, so it's cable of some type, a pool table, several vending machines, and a charging dock for your cell phone. One was a wireless where you can just, you know, it's like a letter file, you know. Just, I couldn't believe, most shops you go to, there's a driver's lounge over there, and they got a 1940s couch that's been tore up all to hell, and that's it. You know, maybe a bubble gum machine over in the corner. I mean, it's just, I couldn't believe how. I mean, a pool table, so you can sit there and play pool with another driver or whatever. So anyway, I get up there and I get to editing the video, and about a half hour later, the guy comes up and he says, "I think I found what your problem is." He shows me on his phone that sending unit that they put in 2 weeks ago. This is, I don't want a bad mouth or nothing like that, but a new mechanic worked on my truck on the air conditioner. Those guys were brand new. They're still in school, actually. Okay, it's the little things. They had plugged screwed that water sensor, you know, the temperature sensor relay. Okay, they stuck that in there and then plugged it in, but they didn't look inside the little plastic, you know, the clip, you know, the plug-in cork, whatever. They didn't look in there. That was corroded. Okay, so they took a corroded piece and stuck it down on that brand new sensor, and of course that just corrodes the sensor. So here it is 2 weeks later with rain and all that. The seal might not have been good. Water gets in there. Next thing you know, it corrodes that brand new sensor. So here's a $80 sensor that's no good now. You got to throw it out. So we put a new sensor and the plug. You know, cut the wires and put a new plug on there and plugged it all in. Now my sensor, it reads correct. It shows about 180 degrees when the engine's warmed up. Yes, got that worked out. So while I'm here, I thought, well, I got a couple other little things. One of the other little things about this truck is when I turn the air conditioner on, you got off, and then 1, 2, 3, and 4, the speeds for the fan. You put it on low, works fine. Put it on 2, 3, or 4, you get this growling. What it sounds like, where's it at? There it is. Here's the motor. So here's the motor, and here's the squirrel cage fan that sits on it. Okay, now this is a brand new motor. The older motor is still right up there. I thought it was a bearing going out on the inside of this motor. Okay, so I take it all out, get the squirrel cage off, and I got to thinking, well, let me check and make, you know, just make damn sure this is what it is. This is $120, no, 135 or something like that. And this is a 27. This is the old one. There's a brand new one right there. It's an old, it's a $27 squirrel cage fan, okay? So altogether about 180 bucks with tax, all right? So I plug it in and turn it on, expecting this thing to go on the low speed to be fine, but when I go to 2, 3, and 4, this thing will start vibrating and rattling, and it didn't do it. It ran smooth. Well, no, maybe there's nothing wrong with the motor. Maybe it's out of balance. Well, if you get this squirrel cage, and you know what squirrel cage fans look like after they've been used for a long time, they get gummed up with goo on the inside. Inside these fins, they start getting dust and dirt and whatever in there. So I got over here on the sink and started rinsing it off, and I realized pretty quick that this little bit of that pressure is not going to clean it up. So I thought, well, let me go inside, and maybe they got a garden hose I can squirt in there, high pressure and everything. I go up and ask the mechanic that worked on the truck. I don't know his name. Even if I did, I probably shouldn't say. But anyway, I walk over and I says, hey, you guys got a garden hose or anything? I said, what do you need? I said, well, see all this growth in here in these fins? You go, oh yeah, it's dirty. And he says, why don't just use this parts cleaner? So you know, in a mechanic, they got that big tub that has the solvent goes through it. Really? I mean, most shops would never let you even, they don't even want you walking in the place, you know, insurance reasons, you know. So he says, yeah, come on over. He flips the switch, lifts the lid up, flips the switch on and everything. I'm like, okay. And it's got the little brush that the fluid comes through the brush. And I sit there. Got it all cleaned up. So now it's nice and clean. I'm waiting for it to dry. As soon as it gets dry, it has a solvent on it. So I went over to back here and I rinsed it off in the sink. Got the solvent off of it. So now I'm waiting for it to completely dry. Once it's dry, I don't want to turn it on and it flings shit everywhere. So that's my thing. Here I am. That's my this is my review of the Pete store. Super nice guys. A little expensive, but not as expensive as Rush. Okay, their shop rate's $160 an hour. Okay, and that's high, but maybe not in today's day. But that's why I don't go to the Peterbilt dealers very often, because like Rush, I'm sure they're up above 200 bucks an hour, somewhere 190 at least for the shop rate. So this is only 160 an hour only. But a regular mechanic or a private mechanic might be around 95 or 110, somewhere in that range. So for a Peterbilt dealer, they're somewhat fair on price. They got it fixed. They got me in instead of making me wait until Thursday or something, you know, and got me fixed in about an hour and a half. I played 2 games of, I just started doing a video. Another driver came up. We got to playing pool. We played 3 games of pool. By that time, oh, the other thing, I get up and I'm on the computer farting around, right? And where's it at? I haven't drank it yet. Yeah, they gave me a Sprite. They give me not only did they give me a Sprite, he comes up, he's got a clipboard, and he says, hey, you're going to be here through the lunch hour and everything. It's one of our policies. If we got somebody waiting, you know, there's no food around here other than a vending machine, we buy you dinner. They bought me dinner. So yeah, there's a little deli down the street, a little you know, hamburger joint, and it's got, you know, hamburger, cheeseburger, blah blah blah, patty melt. So I got a patty melt, some curly fries, and a Sprite. Rush would never have done that, you know. I mean, it's just, I am just really taken aback at how I wasn't expecting any of that. I was expecting to come in and they say, oh yeah, we're a dealership and it's going to be 3 days before we look at you. Then we'll have to order parts and blah 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 blah. You know, and okay, well, the heck with it. I'll just go down the road without it and wait till I get home, kind of thing. Took really good care of me. So anyway, that's what I wanted to tell you about. So let me get this. I think this is dry enough now. It's moist, but I think by the time I get it all put back together and in there, it'll be better. It'll be good. So anyway, I'm going to see if this doesn't work. If it doesn't, I got the brand new motor and the squirrel cage. If it does work, put the old motor and the clean old fan in. I'll take the 2 parts back. I'm still here at their lot, so I'll take it back in and get my money back on that, and we'll be good. So y'all be good. Ciao. Take care. Okay, what we got here, let me get you adjusted here. What we got is, this thing is out of, it's bent. The fan itself is bent in some way. So when you spin it, it's wobbling real bad. There, that's a little better. But probably not good enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the fan off and keep the motor, put the new fan on the old motor and see what that does. And maybe we'll take the motor back, the new motor back. We'll just reuse the same motor. So here's another thing about tools. All I have is this little bitty Allen wrench. Okay. What you do is, there's a hole down in here for that Allen wrench to go in. Well, if you look right on top, there's a hole right here. So if you have a really long Allen wrench, you go in this way. It's not long enough, so I got to do it the hard way because I don't have the right tool. But here we go again. If you have the right tool, it makes the job a lot easier.